All right, I got a 68-year-old male, I've got a 49-year-old female, and they're asking the question, can we retire with $700,000 saved for retirement? So they do help their boys, giving them $500 a month, $250 each while they're in college. That'll end in 2024. And they want to plan out vacations when they retire. Starting next year, we want to plan out some vacations, about $10,000 a year. Now, we are going to give this an increase. So this is vacation, $10,000, it's annual. We're going to give this an increase of 3% per year because we don't want our vacation money, we don't want our vacations to lessen because inflation goes up, right? Like inflation's going to increase on air travel, it's going to increase on gas, it's going to increase on food. So when you're planning out vacations and travel, make sure you're adding inflation into that. So the first year you might travel to Europe, but by the time you get 10 years into retirement, if you haven't added inflation into your projections for travel, instead of going to Paris, France, you might be going to Paris, Kentucky. And they're totally different places, okay? I like Paris, Kentucky too. Now, pre-retirement. So this is the next 2 years because Chris is going to retire at 70. So at 70, based on current contributions and current savings, they're going to have $765,357 in retirement assets. So can I retire at 70 with $765,000? Now, this is a unique situation because what the software is going to do, which we have to kind of finagle the software a little bit, it's going to act like they both die at the same time, which puts Chris at 119. That's not going to happen. So we're going to have to go back in the software and basically kill Chris off to look at what's going to happen here. And we'll do that in just a second. But let's look at this just on the surface. So at 70, we've got Social Security kicking on for Chris. We've got the pension income. We've got the annual cash flow. And then we've got the net monthly income after taxes and the net monthly expenses with inflation. So if we look basically at 100, let's go at 100 for Chris. We've got $2.1 million. So our assets aren't going down. So retirement income, can I retire, retirement savings, that's not an issue. They're growing their assets. We could actually increase our vacation fund. We could increase our travel. We could increase some of the other expenditures that we want to do. But for them, we need to look at some of their other main concerns. And their main concerns are death of a spouse, because Chris is 20 years younger, spousal benefits, what we've talked about, and rate of return. So let's look at rate of return first, because they don't like the market and they want to be more conservative. They don't want to be aggressive. So we've got to look at that within the planning. So let's go back to assets and let's give, instead of 6%, let's give all the assets after retirement, let's give them a 4% rate of return, meaning we're going to earn 6% until retirement, but after retirement, we're only going to earn 4%. Because we've transitioned, right? When you transition from working and gathering assets to retirement, your assets have to shift too. You can't stay invested like you're working when you're retired. You've got to shift. It's like going from a roller coaster to a railroad, right? The roller coaster's like this. The railroad's like chugga, 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 chugga. You want to have a combination of both, but you don't want to stay on the roller coaster in retirement. So we got to transition. So we're going to transition them at retirement to 4%. That's just what they want. And that's okay. We're going to do that. We look at this. We go back to retirement. 4% rate of return. Now we're running out of money. Look at this. At 91 for her, making 4%, we're running out. So we've got to look at this and say, okay, what rate of return do we need to avoid a shortfall? Well, the program tells us 5.17%, which is not a big deal. We just have to shift our investments from 4% to, let's just say, 5% for the rest of our life to never run out of money. That's a 1% increase. It doesn't have to be this all the way over. We don't have to go from like owning AT&T to Tesla stock. We just need to shift just slightly, ever so slightly, from making 4% to making 5%. You see that? It's not these huge changes that make your retirement plan go. It's just small little tweaks. Just tweak here, tweak there. I wrote a book, Have You Ever Been Bitten by an Elephant, with my dad. We talk about that. No one's been bitten by an elephant. Those are big mistakes. Everybody's been bitten by a mosquito, and mosquitoes are little mistakes. So we just want to transition the investments. It's just a small tweak. Second thing we need to look at is what happens if Chris passes away. So let's take Chris out. So he's 70 in the year 2024. So let's at 85, let's go to 90. Let's give him 20 years. So let's say he passes away on, let's go 90. So let's say 90, year 2044. And then we'll say Jasmine, her spousal benefits, or we'll call it, it's a widow's benefit, will kick on at 2044. So she's 49 now, 59, so she'll be 69 years old. She's going to get a widow's benefit. That's going to be the $4,135. It's not the $3,334. Maybe it's 70. There we go. It's not the $3,334, which would be half of 67. That's 67 is what his full retirement age was. His Social Security is $3,334. It's half of that for a spousal benefit, but if you get the full benefit if Chris waits till 70 when he passes. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's go to save that. And then let's go back to retirement. So we lowered the rate of return. Now Chris passed away, and now we're running out of money at 79. So now we've got a bigger issue, right? So for her, we're running out of money at 79. Our expenses are increasing. He's passed away at 90. Okay, you see we had the Social Security of $7,653. Now it's gone to $1,796. Our expenses are still inflated. Now, can't dig this down so much that we can say, these are the expenses you're not going to have when a husband passes away. This is what this is where your expenses are going to be as a 1 versus a 2. That's really tough. But what the program allows me to see is, what if we cut that just in a third and we say, okay, now instead of $10,000 at $7,000, how long is our money going to last? So we've really got to kind of go back to the board and say, okay, we need to save some more money or have some more planning, especially for Jasmine if Chris passes away, because he's going to pass away first. He's older and he's going to pass away first. So we need to adjust either our expenses now, our travel plans, or we need to adjust something. We need to save more. Jasmine maybe needs to work, actually continue to work, and maybe pick up more hours once Chris retires at 70. Okay? So again, not every retirement plan's like Pixie does. There's some work that we still need to do. We still have to go back to the drawing board. And that's something we got to do here. We got to go back to the drawing board and we got to keep working on this. So I hope this video's helped. I hope it's helped you in your retirement planning. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.